Ruslan.
Whether it's Kendrick Lamar or Pharrell Williams or all the other humans I get to be around, so
Yeah.
many of them have had a touch of the God flow from different people. And I think all of us just need to be patient with other people, and people need to be patient with us. It's like a
Come
boom
on.
bam.
Come on, I've met and hung out with Kendrick a handful of times, and that was one of the conversations I had with him. Was like, man, you are unapologetic about sharing your faith in Jesus, yet you have this rawness and authenticity in your content. And he just was like, man, that's just who I really am. Like, I really am that guy that goes to church while at the same time, like, I wrestle and deal with things in my community, and it's in coming from Compton and the challenges. And I remember hearing stories of Kendrick and his wife pulling up to like a Christian marriage conference and being at like a Christian marriage conference for several days. And people were so shocked that he was there. But a lot of folks behind the scenes know that he's been in the faith or around people of the faith for a long time. What's been like your engagement with some of the more the hip hop community outside of just Kanye?
I don't think there's many that I have not met because it's like a little high school. So I mean, I can go through names 1, 2, 3. So if they're in trouble, there's probably one of 3 people they're going to come to, and I'd be one of the 3. But yeah, I mean, that's just part of the deal. So these guys are trying to find their way, and a lot of them come out of church. A lot of them are church kids, and I think they're looking for people that are relatable, like yourself. Let's throw Tim Timberlake into the mix. I think Tim Timberlake is one of the best speakers on the planet now. African American. I know Tim since he was like 9 years of age. And, you know, he's helping Floyd Mayweather and so many other people. So I think it's about they're being drawn to the God in us. And then hopefully we're being drawn to serve them and lead them down the right path.
That's so good. And I always feel like keeping up with people in the industry, and I think now with this new media, I think it's gonna manifest more. And this is what I mean. I think with old media, there's still gatekeepers. There's still people that are kind of monitoring your content. There's still people, unless you're Kanye and you just could do whatever you want and Universal can't get in your way. No one's going to tell Kanye no, right? Because he's Kanye. But by and large, I think there's a lot of these guys behind the scenes that are really wrestling, struggling, going to church, following Jesus privately, but maybe the content, the music doesn't reflect that. And I sense with this new media of YouTube, TikTok, SoundCloud, Spotify, everything being direct to consumer now, I think there's a revival coming. And I think there's going to be just a flooding of people being unapologetic and open about Jesus from both old media and new media. Because things are just changing, right? And like you said, they're drawn to the God in us, the Jesus in us, and then over time, their hearts begin to change. Do you think that's possible outside of just like Hollywood and the old media, but where you see new media going?
I think no doubt about it. But I think the key is for us to change our expectations. Again, they don't want to join our club. Like, you know, all the... You know,
I love how you keep going back to that. That's
no,
good.
because I mean, come on. It was me and Jake's all through the 90s, all through the 2000s. I was getting 2,000 invitations a year. I've spoken to 85,000 people at a time when I was only 34 years of age. And so 75 countries of the world, the biggest platforms, they don't necessarily want to come to that. They're not all trying to come to that. And we need to get that out of our mind. Like, oh, I could get them at so-and-so's, or then if they got in our little group. No, I mean, let's pay attention to how creative God is. And then he's creating other things. Like I do Bible studies at people's homes that I'm not even going to mention today that would blow people away. And, you know, why does that happen? Because I'm coming there with no judgment, teaching the Jesus style, and it's working. And then people who don't think right will then say, but then where do you put them? I mean, what do we mean? Do they need a Christian book deal at that point? No. I'm into getting them into the Jesus style, the Jesus culture. And I honestly think that's what you're going to start to find. You're going to see a lot more Bible studies that are really strong, that are not necessarily connected to like a mega church. Like the great conversations I've had with Pharrell, he's not looking for a mega church. These guys are just into the connection with Christ.
Yeah.
I think so many of these guys that came out of religion tried to put a ceiling on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's what the scary thing is about, like Christianity and celebrities.
Come on.
If you're not careful, you'll be like when you're going on a safari and you're looking for the big five, and the guy says, "Okay, now listen, we found three of the big five," and they start speaking in Afrikaans, because I've been to 4 safaris in South Africa, and I've been to South Africa 26 times, and they'll start speaking in Afrikaans, and they'll say, "We found the cheetah," and then they're talking, and then they'll tell the Jeep, "We found the cheetah."
Yeah.
Okay, that's to me like, "We found Justin Timberlake."
Yeah.
Oh, we found Justin Bieber. Okay. You know, again, everybody's a celebrity. To be a celebrity is to be celebrated. We're made in the image of God. So when you really like start to shift this whole thing in your brain, then it all becomes a lot better.
How do you think the church can do a better job in terms of shepherding? Forget celebrities, because I love what you said. Celebrities is just people we celebrate. In my house, my wife and my newborn baby are the celebrities right now, right? So because that's who I'm celebrating a lot. And in terms of celebrating, not celebrating, but empowering, equipping, shepherding creative people. Some of those creative people come out of the church, the Beyoncés, the Kendricks, right? The Kanyes. They're coming from the church. And Beyonce literally was platformed in the church early on. And I had the same conversation with John Gray before. But how do you think the church could do a better job of shepherding these folks so there isn't a lid over them, so that they don't lose touch with some of their roots and kind of go, all in the world, but we keep that balance? How do you think the church could do a better job? And I'm with you. I don't think it's about mega churches.
That's a great question, because I like where you're going with this, because it's about the creatives. It's about the creatives. So if we teach Ephesians 3:20, for God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or imagine. So Kendrick Lamar says, okay. Then he writes a song, I got royalty in my DNA. Now, if you're a pastor and you're insecure, you're going to try to put the lid on these guys.
Come on.
You're going to put the lid on them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And you're going to be his father. And he comes to your church and you baptized him. I mean, congratulations. All right. So what I hear from a lot of the guys that I've been working with, and again, I've been doing this for 30 years in Beverly Hills, 30 years, is they're not really into all that boxing in. But what they are into is being tutored, mentored, sculpted. Okay? They're looking for good shepherds. Like one guy that who's one of the biggest names, said to me, I don't want a pimp preacher. And he wasn't talking about like a certain race. He just said, I'm not looking for a guy that's trying to be as shiny as me.
Wow.
I'm looking for somebody that's a servant.
Yeah.
And then that's why I sent him to a servant church, and he ended up giving about $5 million to that church.
Wow.
And I'm not going to say his name because he likes to play under the radar.
Sure.
But that's what people are looking for. They want to be tutored, mentored, coached. And that's why I've been able to stay in these guys' lives for all these years. And when they're in trouble, they call. When they're not in trouble, they just want to check up. And to me, that's a Jesus style. He took 12 disciples that needed to be mentored, tutored, and sculpted.
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.
Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you found it valuable, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. You can check out one of the other videos related to this that'll be over here. Now, I gotta tell you about a free training I have for anyone that is an entrepreneur, a creative, an artist, but maybe you are unsure on how to find your voice, how to find your niche. I have a free training in the description of this video. Check it out. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next video.